Hey guys, welcome to the Quick Desk. So today we are deploying a Grafana Loki and Alloy stack on a single node. We have already launched an EC2 instance. If you don't know how to launch an EC2 instance, then you can refer to the I button. So basically, the team or we struggle with scatter logs across servers, and if there are containers, so it makes the debugging and auditing slow and painful. So the aim is to centralize logs while keeping the cost low and also get a powerful search and intuitive dashboards and also the alerts. Grafana, Alloy, and Loki fulfills that. So basically, this stack contains a Alloy agent. So we call it Alloy. This is basically a telemetry agent or the collection agent which can collect logs, even the metrics and also the traces. It can also process them and it sends it to the next component. That is, we are having Loki. Loki is basically the aggregation and storage system. It is scalable and also cost efficient. It is cloud native as well. And then we can say we have the Grafana. Here we can see the logs, create the dashboards from the existing logs, and basically the Grafana uses the Loki as the data source and get the logs from here. This is for visualization, you can say. And this is a data source for us. This is basically the agent. Sorry, the diagram is not very good, but yeah, this is the whole actual flow. Let's get started. So I have already launched an EC2 instance. I'm just connected to it via SSH. Then we head to the root section. So we have to install Docker and the Docker Compose. I will also share the link of this one. I have already installed on this one. Docker version. It's fine. Docker-compose version. So we need the Docker and Docker Compose. Right now we are doing a Docker deployment. I mean, we will deploy 3 Docker containers. So I have already a Docker Compose YAML. I will also share this one. We have some configs here. We have a env. Let me brief about it. This is the Grafana service. So this is one of the container and it has some entry point already defined. I will tell you why it is. We have some port which the Grafana uses by default. We have made a Docker volume to make the data persistent of Grafana. By default, it should be like this, but when we go for the production, you should use a external database or something to store the data from this. Now there's a Loki, which is basically our data source. So we have a config file that we have defined here and the persistent data volume as well. We can just go to the default.yaml. We have the port here. These are the storage file system. The Loki will use it. So the path is /Loki. Here it will store some kind of chunks or the log chunks that it is intaking from the Alloy. And then there's a object storage file system. We can use the object storage as S3 as well. It is pretty easy. So we will use that in the upcoming section or in the upcoming video. And final one is the Alloy. So for Alloy also, we are using a simple config.yaml. And if you see here, we are actually mounting the Docker socket inside the Alloy as well. So if I go to this one, you can see I have a path targets defined here. And in this one, whichever the logs which are available to the file system, it will get those logs. And the Alloy basically reads the logs from the file system. And mostly why the Loki is here, because we have other solutions for logging as well, like the Elasticsearch, but we are not using that because the Loki doesn't index the whole content. It just only uses the labels, which is much faster and also cheaper in case of storage for us. And also this is an interesting section. This is for what we have mounted before the Docker socket. So Docker socket will use the discovery Linux section and it will discover whatever the containers I have running and it will label as them with service name. So these are for the container logs. And at the last, I can see there's a endpoint. This is basically our Loki endpoint in which this Grafana will push the data or push the logs. We will see it in details or visually. So it will be cleared more. These are some volumes defined and a network. So right now I'm trying to keep all the stack in a single network. Let's go to this one and let me create a zip file for that so that I can transfer it over and I can basically I will upload all these things in the repo and you can directly use that. So just sudo mv, I'm putting all this in a root directory to make this demo fast. And let me head to the, just unzip this one so we can use unzip GLA stack. It's fine if I go to the GLA stack. Okay, and one more thing I wanted to show you. If you see, I have a .env here. So here I have defined the versions which I'm using. I have not defined the version of Grafana because I want to take it as the latest version. But for a production practice, it's better to pull images with particular version, not to define something latest or anything, because it can make our environment inconsistent. For now, I'm taking the Loki as this version and Alloy as this version. You can ignore the other envs because this will be used the later section. I just need to do docker compose up -d. Let's see, it's my bad. Just okay, and I have to edit here as well. It's up to you, whatever the version you are taking. I'm taking the latest version here. It will take some time to pull the images. Okay, the image has been pulled and the containers have been created, the networks are created. So if I see my containers, docker ps, okay, I can see the all three are running. Let's just access the dashboard of Grafana. For that, I have to open the 3000 port in my EC2 security group, open the 3000 port in the network security group, and edit. Right now I'm opening for all, but you should not do this in production. Whatever the traffic or the customers or the consumers you wanted to use the Grafana dashboard, you should allow those people only or those system only. So let me open a window, and it is HTTP for now. HTTPS. Okay, our Grafana dashboard is loading. Okay, so by default it uses the admin as the username and password is also admin. For now, I'm creating a very hard password, that is admin@123. Let me just reconfirm this one. Okay, and submit. Okay, so if we just directly go to the explore section, we can see the Loki is already here. And how it came here, we didn't even provided any data connection or data sources. So even if we go to the data sources, we can see the Loki is by default here. And this is because in our compose file, if you see for the Grafana, we have already created an entry point that basically maps the URL this Loki 3100 as the port by name Loki. So that's why it is coming here. And even if I try to edit this one, I won't be able to edit this one because this is added by the config, not the UI. So for verification, I can just click on test. Okay, that means our data source is connected successfully. Just head up to the explore section and let's see. Even if I do last 30 minutes, okay, I can get the file name. Now this file name gets automatically as the labels when we defined the multiple files there. If I head back again and show you an alloy, you can see there's star.log. So this double asterisk or the double star basically stands if I have multiple subdirectories even inside log. So suppose I have maybe slash a b c and then x y z, and then there are some log file, so there will be no problem for me. Even or even if I just have log and then slash abc.log, there will be no problem for me as well. So all are covered in this, so yeah, it's fine. So I go to the explore section again and check. Okay, I'm getting these are the files. If I just run query, so you can see it is very fast. It is really beautiful actually. So yep, even if I scroll down, I can see most of the logs. Now I can choose bootstrap maybe and run this one. Okay, this is damn fast. I can also download the logs if I wanted, and even I can search something. Maybe I should search error. Okay, I got the error. Now I don't know that from which stack trace does it stands, right? So I can just click on this one, and if I click on this one and then show context, I can see okay, this is coming from this stack trace. So this is nicer as well. So what about the Docker? See, I have these 3 containers running, and I remember I have mapped our Docker socket inside the alloy, right? If I go this one, yep, I can see I have already mapped this one. So that means our Docker containers log should be coming as well. So if I head up again and click on this one, this service name, if I go back again and show you the config.alloy, I can see I have the target label as service name, as I mentioned earlier as well. So I will just go to the Loki, click on service name, and yep, I can see the alloy Grafana Loki are coming. So suppose I can maybe put alloy here and run the query. Okay, last arguments are not there. It's fine. I can maybe select Loki, run the query. Okay, I can see there are a lot of logs coming. Now one more thing that is very interesting and shows how powerful the Loki or this Grafana stack is. I can actually show the live logs. So these are the streaming logs that are coming. You can see the last received line was 2 seconds ago, but yeah, these are kind of live logs. And I can show you, okay, if I just run a Docker container, maybe of nginx, so docker run -itd nginx, it will be fine. So let's just wait. Okay, I can see this is maybe running. Okay, the nginx is running. Logs. Okay, my bad. I have to publish the port, otherwise I won't be able to send any request in it. So docker -f, remove this one, saw some Dublin ski or whatever. Now docker run -itd, maybe you can say -p and 8080, and inside it must be listening, I think 80, if you are not wrong. Okay, so docker ps again. Okay, it is 8080. So if I call localhost 8080, okay, we got something. So let me just head up this one and open the port again to get the live logs. So port 8080, custom here, say rules. Now copy the IP, head up here, port 8080. Okay, we are able to get the logs. Maybe I could get some live logs. Let me refresh this one. Service name, sorry. Okay. So the service name, this goofy Kapitsa or whatever it is, to run the query. Okay, my bad. I did search it for error already. That's why I was not getting the logs from that as well. So yeah, we figured it out kind of, because this was kind of error by me. So it's fine. You can check the logs from live here. You can see if I clear the logs, refresh the page. Okay, I got the logs. Refresh, got the logs. Refresh again. So it's kind of playful for me as well. So this was kind of basic. Now the second part will be when we will mount this store on S3. So the Loki can also use the S3 as its object storage for storing the logs. We can send some retention period also, and much more. That's for this video. Thank you.